Hello! Merry almost Christmas and happy holidays! I have good news! The resin cast dolls now have a rabbit and dog option, and pre-mades of them are already available on my Etsy. Absolutely not in time for Christmas because I kinda procrastinated on this video, but still, thought that counts. Also, I have blank versions of these dolls available, something I'll cast, stitch, and send on demand. These guys are good for those of you that want to try your hand at customizing these guys. You know, considering I'm pretty new into this whole sort of thing, and, like, you guys might have way more experience than I do in terms of, like, face-ups and actually making clothes. But in this video, I want to show you the very first casts I made of the dog and rabbit molds. So, let's get going! I intended on making the rabbit the orange color, but that didn't quite work out, because as usual, I overshot the resin to heck. So I figured the dog would be better, since they have a much bigger head, and even that was too much for it. But that's why I have extra molds lying about, to just chuck more resin in later. They also worked really good as testing the resin to see how much it's cured before you actually take the thing out. Which worked out perfectly for this time around because it was a bit cold in the room, or I guess it just didn't cure quite correctly, but it was really squishy when I took out the mold the first time. It did eventually harden, but it was a little spooky for a minute there. And now we get to the rabbit. With this one, I wanted to do the red violet I previously intended with Pat, who, as you've seen previously, is a very blinding pink. Mixing alcohol inks is weird. But in this case, I had a little more of a handle of how much resin I was using. About the rabbits that I'm not too happy about, their necks got a little messed up. When I was making the Sculpey version to cast, it got broken and I was trying to fix it and it worked to be molded, but now there's this permanent scar on their necks. Which I guess isn't a huge deal if all of them wear like scarves or hoodies or sweaters or mostly a lot of neck covering things. Then it was time to paint. First I went with the dog, which I started calling Mac because that yellow-orangey color they got going really reminds me of mac and cheese. So I added orange to kind of lean into it. Petunia, meanwhile, had a very specific reference. She's based on one of those Dutch rabbits, and also based on a toy I had back when I was little. That plushie was one of my favorites back in, like, middle school. These two strike me as blue-eyed characters. And I never have any pale blue and it's always a pain to mix, so I just put some blue and some white that I forgot I had, so now I have a pale blue to use for any future blue-eyed ones, too. I always like doing the line art part, it's my favorite part. And then it was just a matter of stitching the body, and they're now ready for clothes. I compared them to Skylar, who at this point didn't have any clothes yet, just to see what they looked like next to each other. They're definitely taller, and that dog has such a huge head, they're gonna have so much trouble with clothes. I wanted to make sure their legs weren't exposed because I intended to put all of them in dresses, and toddler socks saved the day again. They make really good leggings. With Petunia's dress, I wanted to try something with the shirt pattern, but just stretched out, and it turned into a nightgown. Which isn't terrible, I mean, like, it would work for someone else, but I wanted a dress. I prettied it up as much as I could, but I'm still not quite into it. Mac, meanwhile, whose footage I completely forgot, was just a basic skirt that was the pants pattern without the leg slits, and then like the shirt that I always use. And I did my whole standby of the turtleneck sock in the shirt, so it would cover the huge hole that I had to make for their head. I like this one a little better. They kind of look like a teacher, actually. Anyway, that's them. If you want to buy these guys or any of their siblings, I have the links available in the description. And while they were fun to make, I think I've successfully knocked down this side tangent for a little bit. I mean, I'm still down for making the blank ones, but as far as pre-mades go, I think I'm gonna stop for a while. Unless you guys are really into these doll making videos, in which case I could, like, make, I guess, like, one a month. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later!